What inspired you to explore the theme of Kali and her yoginis in your book? And how do you approach these complex figures in a way that is accessible to modern readers?
I have always been interested in Kali. I have always gained my strength through Kali, and I have always thought that she is the one who connects to the energies of this universe, and I have always felt that guiding power through her. I have read a lot of books, scriptures which is related to Kali, Kali Puran and Yogini Tantram and many other books. But it is a very complex subject. The way it is written, it requires some amount of decoding. There are a lot of things which are encoded there, and it is not, you don't get the names correct, you don't get the attributes correct, and you don't understand what is happening. I wanted it to be easily available to most people. I have created this book in such a way that it becomes a handbook for most people. If somebody wants to explore the arena of Kali, if somebody wants to explore and get into the practice, anyone can. A lot of people say that you require a guru. Yes, you do require a guru, but the guru is required at a much later stage. You don't jump into something and you don't require a guru. Like when we are in school, the primary education is done by our mother. Before even getting into Montessori, there is somebody else who is teaching us what we need to learn and how we get used to the school, and that is our mother. So, in the same way, I feel that if you look at the aspects of nurturing from Kali, the mother aspect, and if you connect to that, I think she can actually give you a lot of insights herself once you start connecting to her energy. And maybe if you are in a position that you get into it and start connecting to her, she will get you the right person to connect to. I have tried to write in maximum details in the book. I have not really put too much of my own experience in the book because I think people don't need to know my experience, and I think people need to know what they need to know for the practice. I have put the 1,000 names of Kali there. I have given small spiritual rituals that people can do. I have put in the names of the yoginis, their attributes, which are not really found anywhere. The moment you can connect to any of the names that you relate to in the book, you will be directly connected to that particular yogini. And yoginis, when we talk about yoginis, we have a few temples in India, probably just about 4, which was with Mughal invention. All these temples have been abolished, and whatever remains are there. You can just enter one of them and see the vibe and feel the vibe there. So some faces are not there, they have been damaged. Some bodies are not there, and it's all under archaeological department. So you don't get to see them completely. But what I have tried is trying to give them figures of how they are, how their attributes are, so that in your mental image you can at least create them and you know their names. So you can connect to them directly. Because ultimately, when you reach Kali, you have to go through these yoginis. There is no way to connect to Kali directly. Like if you go to an office, you have to go through the gatekeeper there. So the gatekeepers are there, then the other people are there. You cannot go and reach the boss directly. Similarly, there are different stages in your spiritual practice. If you want to connect to somebody, that particular deity has got her mandala, which is like a geometric creation, and you cannot enter the center because the center is the Devi herself. You cannot reach that center unless you are going through the rest of the facets of the mandala. You have to cross every mandala. Like if I am going to the Prime Minister's office, I have to go through a certain set of people. You cannot directly go and reach the boss. Similarly, you have to go through these, you have to make these energies your friends. The moment they are friendly with you, everything opens up. And as the practice is concerned, when your time is right to get the guru, you will get the guru. Till then, you should practice whatever small things you can, and whenever nature feels that it is right time for you to achieve something, it will come to you. It is all predestined, and not predestined by anybody else, predestined by you. Because when we are just before our birth, we have planned our entire life, how it is going to be in some other realm. So, wherever you are before your birth, you are there in a stage where everybody is Raj. So, everybody has got Raj's attributes. So, what happens if you're in a classroom where everybody is like you, or if you're in a family, everybody is like you will not be able to learn anything. So, to learn something, you have to go through that pain. Somebody has to hurt you, somebody has to push you, somebody has to steal from you, somebody has to, break your head or something like that. Then you understand the challenges of life. You can't learn cycling just in one day. You have to fall, and you can't learn swimming without drinking swimming pool water. I believe that, and I think that every time that you have to learn something, you have to go through that cycle. So before you were born, you have planned your life in such a way that you will come to this earth, which family you will be born, who are the people you're going to meet in certain stages of your life. It is your choice. You have chosen everything. As long as you are born, you will have desires. Even if that desire means doing good, even if that desire means serving the Lord, even if that desire means that you want to help people, as long as it is a desire, that means you are creating your karma. And since when have you, the desire of living is also a desire. A desire of living well is also a desire, and a desire for doing well for others is also a desire. So when do you start getting the sense? Which animal actually, so you have had many lives, we have had a lot of thousands of lives before this. So from the time we have actually started sensing what is good for us and what is bad for us, even in an animal life, from that time we are adding up to our karmas. So it is not as simple as karma. When we come into this earth to learn more and to learn at the fastest rate, because here on earth we learn at the fastest rate, because you get hurt. We have very limited time here, and probably even if I take a normal human standard life according to any of our shastras is 120 years. So even if I take 120 years, it's not a very long time compared to some of the other realms that we are talking about in Devlok or Indralok. So here when we are talking about our life, we choose and we evolve, we learn, and we go to our next life, and our life connects to our next life. And that is what I said, even if whether your friend, whether your husband, whether your wife, whether your son, daughter, anybody who leaves you and hurts you at that point of time, for some way or the other.
That is all past connections.
Not only past connection, it is our own planning. So we've had like a boardroom meeting that you are going to come at this age, you are going to come at this age, and you are going to come at this age and join me, and we are going to evolve to our next realm. So what happens when we are born in a certain place, we carry about 100 to 150 souls along with us, and we always are born at the same time in the same place. So we have that entire clan with us. It's a very interesting topic and it's very intriguing. I don't think even one talk is enough for this, but I think people need to learn and understand. The point is, we have stopped studying this. Once we study these kind of spiritual things, or we connect to the past, or we connect to the way our life is supposed to be, we will be in a better position to understand why things are happening to us. See, unless you are in a very depressed mode, or unless things are going wrong with you, you will not go to somebody to study this. If everything is right with you, if you're happy, and if you're like watching TV, happy, going to sleep, getting up in the morning, doing the best of your job and everything, you have good friends, good people, you will not learn anything, and you will not go through that pain. Without pain, there is no growth. You have to go through that pain to get that growth. There's a story that we often repeat, and a lot of people have repeated, and this is a story of that of a butterfly and a caterpillar. How a caterpillar can become a butterfly. From that worm, how can such a beautiful, colorful, butterfly come out? And it is said that in that strength, in that form of transformation, if you are helping the caterpillar,
It will die.
it will die. So that means that there is a process. You have to go through the process of life in order to become somebody in your life. And I think that is why I wrote this book, because there are a lot of people who really need spiritual guidance and maybe they don't get it. Through this book, they can connect. And it is written in such a way that the moment you read it, you will be able to connect to what I am saying. And probably experience those things in your life and can relate to it. The idea of writing the book was so that it can help people to transform